I just want to include this little tip to show you something else that is possible with the tabbed panel. So if you've got your site open and you've got your design page open, I'm going to go to the zoom tool and we'll zoom in down here on the tabs themselves, go in pretty tight. So you can click and drag to create a zoom box. Go back to the selection tool and click to select the tab. Essentially that means clicking 2-3 times here and we've got it. And make sure that the active state in the states panel is selected. I want to show you something that I want to add by going over to the browser here. If you look at the Muse pre-release site here, this is muse.adobe.com, you'll see that Adobe actually put little arrows underneath to indicate which one's which. Just kind of a cool little thing. And we're not going to make ours as cool looking, I guess, but we're going to do something similar. So you can do this pretty easily. If you make sure that you're on one of the tabs and you go to the active state, we can add anything to the rectangle area down here and it'll show up. So we'll put a little triangle, let's say right here, to indicate, hey, this is the one. As soon as somebody clicks on another tab, it's going to hide this rectangle content, which means it's going to hide the little triangle, and it's going to show the next rectangle's content, which can also contain a little triangle. I know, it's weird, but watch. So with the tab selected in the active state, I'm going to place an image I created in Illustrator and saved out. So you can place, don't forget, you can say JPEG, PIF, PNG, GIF, and Photoshop files. The PIF, anyway. So if you go to the, my bad, let me back up here, subpage folder in your lessons folder, images, active arrow, you'll see it's just a little teeny arrow there. I saved as a ping. Pretty small in size, 23 pixels by 7 pixels. I'll click select and then click to place it. Now you're going to see that it's going to place it within the actual rectangle here. Okay, so what I want you to do is click once on it, click again, and you can select it and move it around. And I want to rotate it too. So come to the corner, click and drag, and we're going to rotate it around. Now I know it's kind of weird, it's going to move things around here. And unfortunately, you can't hold the shift key down to make it perfect. But if you look over here in the transform panel, you can make sure it says 180. All right, then click and drag up. You can snap it up there, and we're just going to kind of put it where we want it. And let's test it out. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing though, okay, with this. If you add this, you want to make sure that you've got your tabs set, the content in the tab set, the design, everything set in the tabs, and you're going to do this last. Because if you start changing what's in the tab and the tab changes size, this little triangle is not going to move with the tab. You're going to have to reposition these every time a tab changes size or does something different. Click on preview. See how it kind of blends in? Click and you're going to see it just hides the rectangle and it's not there. So it's really simple. It's not like, rocket science. So what you can do now is if you already have it here, so go ahead and copy that one. It's selected. So edit copy. Go to the next tab over here. We're going to have to click like 100 times, right? There we go. Make sure you've got the active state selected. Go ahead and paste in place. Now it's just putting it in this rectangle now. So this is you guys, every time there's a new tab, just think of it like there's a rectangle for each tab. Okay, rectangle of content. So click and drag to move it over and just position it underneath. Now it's too far over. I'll move it over a little bit. You can use your arrow keys to kind of position it. Let's do the same thing here. Click on this tab. Click a couple times, 3 times. There we go. Make sure active is selected. Paste in place. Now it's going to move it way over there, so I'm going to have to move back. But let me zoom out a little bit. There it is. If you click and drag, you can hold the shift key down to constrain its movement so it only goes horizontally. Get it in place roughly where you want it. And there we go. Go to preview. Now I don't have it set on hover. I have it set on click. So every time I click, you'll see it show up. Awesome. There we go. Nice little tip for you. Great way to be able to add just a little bit extra content or a little something. And if you really think about it, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. So go ahead and save your site. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a really cool tooltip widget to a gallery page.